Madden holiday is here and we will play all night. Calling sick and sound sincere, in tackles will delight. The fridge is packed with drink and meat, the taste of victory sure is sweet.
Well, a lot has certainly happened, and I'm not talking about the 16 weeks of predictions I missed. I promise that'll be the only time I talk about the league in this thing, okay? Okay, so just as I was finally getting over the shock of Mike Vrabel's firing by the Titans, Pete Carroll is out as head coach of the Seattle Seahawks, and then Nick Saban also retired. And yet, as of this recording, Bill Belichick is still employed. Man, couldn't there just be a coaching vacancy in a place I actually expected to have a coaching vacancy at this point? Now, Mike Vrabel is going to be a very hot coaching commodity, especially since he's the lead choice to replace Bill Belichick should he actually step down or be fired. However, there are other teams that have expressed an interest in a Belichick-like coach, and, well, he's a Belichick-like coach that would be a little bit younger. So, yeah, don't be surprised if he's also a lead candidate in Atlanta, Washington, or for the Chargers. Or, in other words, pretty much anyone who doesn't get Jim Harbaugh. Right now, the leading candidate to replace Pete Carroll is Dan Quinn, the former defensive coordinator for the Seahawks, who's currently the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys. However, he's also probably the lead candidate to replace Mike McCarthy as Cowboys head coach should that firing actually take place. Which actually could take place even if the Cowboys win at this point. I mean, it wouldn't be that shocked. Not to mention this added wrinkle is this does add a Harbaugh-sized wrinkle into who exactly should be getting the Las Vegas Raiders coaching job. I mean, personally, I do think Antonio Pierce has done more than enough to earn that position, but you never know with the Raiders, do you? Well, that's a pretty meaty opening segment for this show. Normally, it's just me kind of spouting things off a little bit and recapping the previous week. I can't even remember what it was the previous week. Anyway, whenever I do these things for the wildcard and divisional round of the NFL playoffs, I do one video for the AFC and one video for the NFC. It helps pleases the algorithm. So, again, the next video will be the NFC games, but for now, we're going to be covering the AFC wildcard games, which are in the order they're airing in. We have the Cleveland Browns visiting the division champion Houston Texans, the Miami Dolphins visiting the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Pittsburgh Steelers visiting the Buffalo Bills. Alright, so let's get to it.
Sports fans, get a ticket to Bud Bowl 4 and you could win $1 million cash.
$1 million bucks?
But you can't get that ticket just anywhere.
Bud Bowl tickets?
Huh?
Bud Bowl tickets. Sorry. Bud Bowl tickets?
Bud Bowl.
Bud Bowl tickets.
Pick up your ticket where you buy Budweiser, Bud Light, and Bud Dry Draft beer. And you just might be a winner.
Hey guys, is this the line for... You know, it's not that important. Never mind.
Bud Bowl 4s. This time it's for $1 million.
IBM presents You Make the Call. Boomer Esiason of the Bengals fumbles and the ball is inadvertently kicked by a Dolphin. Joe Walter recovers, rolls over, is hit, and loses the ball, which is recovered by Miami at the 12 and downed at the 4. Now you make the call. Where do you spot the ball?
Uncle Alex, this store's a lot bigger than your old one.
You betcha.
More parts, bigger inventory. Maybe you should get an IBM PS2.
Huh, what do you want me to do, throw out my old PC?
They'll work together.
And my PC software?
It'll run it and a lot faster.
You're kidding. You know, I could use extra capacity. Maybe I should get a PS2.
Congratulations.
You didn't.
I did.
The Personal System 2, part of the bigger picture for your growing business from IBM.
What call did you make? Since Walter had possession while on the ground, the play automatically ends when he is contacted by an opponent.
Fox NFL Sunday.
Great clip, but I'm surprised they use real footage.
Yeah, everything else on Fox is animation.
Next thing you know, they'll animate us.
I'd be ridiculous.
Somebody threw away a perfectly good pair of eyeballs.
Our first matchup is, well, basically the matchup of the two Cinderella stories this season, with the Cleveland Browns traveling to Houston to take on the Texans. And I knew the Texans were going to get this game because the Texans always get the opening Saturday game whenever they make the playoffs. Seriously, look that up. They always play the opening Saturday game whenever they make the playoffs. Anyway, you obviously know the Browns story. They've played, 5 quarterbacks throughout the season. They've got Joe Flacco in a career renaissance. A lot of people are hoping they win this game and then maybe go on to face the Ravens at some point in this playoffs because, well, there's just too much poetry right there. And of course, they did play 4 weeks earlier with the Browns winning that one pretty handily. Now, that may sound like a good thing, but I've certainly seen events like that play out otherwise. I mean, I remember when the 8-8 Vikings went into Green Bay and beat the Packers. I remember when the 7-9 Seahawks dominated the defending Super Bowl champion Saints. So, again, things can play out differently if you're not careful. This can be especially true given how short the time really is. I think, like I said, it was about 4 weeks ago, wasn't it? Or was it 3 weeks ago? I mean, it was not that terribly long ago that these two teams faced each other, so they could be very fresh in each opponent's mind. Added to that, both these teams are really just playing with house money here. I mean, Cleveland was probably not expected to do much of anything, even though they were a very talented team, with the added wrinkle of the fact they had to go through so many quarterbacks. So, again, house money there, and given the state that the Texans have been in the last few years, I don't think anyone was really expecting too much of them. I mean, a 5-win season would have been a huge success, so again, house money, so they at least have that going for them. Like I said, though, the fact that maybe so many people are kind of dreaming of a Browns-Ravens playoff game, I mean, given the poetry between the two teams already, and added to that, oh yeah, a former Ravens quarterback going up against his old team, yeah, there could be a lot of undue pressure on that. Now, the one problem with the Texans, I'd say, is definitely the fact that they don't really seem to have a very good run defense. I mean, the Colts ran the ball up and down the field on them, and they were kind of lucky to beat the Colts when that happened. It was a bad pass on a 4th down. That was really it. Now, they could obviously get over that, and I do think that C.J. Stroud can definitely provide a definite offensive threat to it. So, again, they can make up for that, but again, they're going to be going up against a really talented Browns defense that they're going to have to overcome. And the Browns defense can carry them if they need to. I mean, they've carried them much of the season. Offensively, again, Joe Flacco's been playing well, but without Amari Cooper or DJ Moore, if they're not healthy, you're going to rely mainly on David Njoku as a passing threat, and that could definitely limit Flacco to an extent. That being said, I think the fact that the Texans did wind up winning the AFC South definitely puts less pressure on them. Like I said, this was such a surprising season. I think people would just be happy no matter what happened. And sometimes having less pressure on you means you play a lot better. And so I'm guessing this is probably going to be a bit of a surprise, but I'm picking the Texans to win this thing. I think they'll get a lead and they'll probably hold off the Browns as best they can.
Hey, JD, try Mattel Electronics Football 2, the all-pro version of the #1 electronic football game.
Hey, what's the difference?
Now you can kick off, run back.
Now that's good.
Pass.
That's even better.
Scramble in any direction.
I'm getting clobbered.
The built-in thinking computer defense can even intercept.
Who's in there?
All-pro Football 2.
I said who's in there.
Football 2, one of 9 sports games from the #1 name, Mattel Electronics.
The rush is on for starting lineup. Now there's an official collection of NFL heroes, so real they seem alive. There's Dan Marino, what an arm. Lawrence Taylor sacking the quarterback. Marcus Allen.
Wow, looks great.
And each has a collector's card. Find out Dickerson's rushing stats, McMahon's passing yardage. Yes, fans, starting lineup. So real they seem alive. You can collect all your favorite players from all your favorite teams. Each sold separately from Kenner.
And with the next pick in the draft, the New England
Patriots select Diet Pepsi machine?
I used to fill that machine.
Come on. A vending machine? I thought the coach went nuts.
I was amazed. The kid can play.
And here come the Patriots with their new star rookie.
Diet Pepsi machine.
First the fridge, then the bus, and now the machine.
Machine's got hands. What hands?
Live football. Drink Diet Pepsi.
Nice play. What?
All right, our second game is the Peacock exclusive game between the Miami Dolphins and the Kansas City Chiefs. You know, a lot of people have been complaining about this being on Peacock, but you know what? Given the way the Chiefs have played this season and how banged up the Dolphins are, that can actually be a good thing, because maybe this is going to wind up being the least interesting of these games, at least on the AFC side. Now, Kansas City hasn't really been playing bad per se. It's just when people think of the Kansas City Chiefs, they think of Patrick Mahomes throwing 40-yard rainbows, and, well, they just haven't been doing that at all this season. I mean, obviously, the receivers have really taken a step back. Unfortunately, they're starting to revert to the Chiefs of the mid-2010s, where they went, was it like a year and a half without a wide receiver catching a touchdown pass? It was either a running back or a tight end scoring a touchdown for them. So, yeah, it's definitely not helping out a lot. That being said, their defense, is playing very well. It's really carrying the team, and Isaiah Pacheco has turned into a very solid running back, so he can carry the team if need be. That being said, his health has been kind of called into question recently. He's had some concussion problems, and, then when he was sitting on the exam table and it gave way in that one game against the Raiders, that probably didn't help at all. But, speaking of health concerns and the injury bug, the Dolphins. Their offense can run pretty well as long as it's okay. And, with Waddle, Tyreek Hill, Raheem Mostert all being hurt at various times, I just don't know if, they can really overcome it that much. The Dolphins' defense is actually really good, but again, they've had to sign pass rushers like Justin Houston this past week because they only had one other pass rusher. So they're that banged up on defense too. And I haven't even touched on their secondary problems. And really, I think the injuries are just going to play the bigger key factor in all of this. It's going to be the tipping point. I think the Dolphins can keep it close, but ultimately the Chiefs are going to pull away and win this one. That's just, it's really kind of elementary at this point. I wouldn't be terribly surprised if maybe the Dolphins can win this, but again, given their health situation, I'd have to pick the Chiefs right now.
Oh, look at Kyle Busch out there.
Yeah, he is all over the track.
What has gotten into him today?
Oh, that cannot be good.
Oh, unbelievable.
Whoa, look out.
Wait a minute. Is Kyle in reverse?
Yeah, you don't see that every day. Okay, that is bad driving.
Oh, this is not like Kyle at all.
Are we winning?
I thought you were looking.
M&M's makes race day more fun.
What is Kyle thinking?
Football fans will sit through almost anything to watch a good football game. Here's in television, NFL football. Come on! Now for Atari football. Hey, where'd everybody go? In television football, I think it's the closest thing to the real thing.
Hey, Howard, switch seats with me.
No way.
Come on, I've got the scoop on the Redskins-Giants game. I should be in the middle today.
Why don't you guys arm wrestle for it? Okay. Chris, are you sure that... Go!
Fox NFL Sunday. This week at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific.
Don't miss it.
Very funny.
And we close out things on the AFC side with the game between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Buffalo Bills, which has many people wondering, what are the chances we're going to get hit with a winter storm in this one? Now, the Bills have been playing better the last few weeks. Obviously, they really rallied to make the playoffs, but they haven't really been playing that much better. They played really well against the Eagles, which they lost. They played really well against the Chiefs, which they won. But their game against the Patriots was pretty meh. The Patriots were hanging around till about the fourth quarter in that thing. And the Dolphins, the Bills actually needed a great fourth quarter to win that game. They were trailing most of it, and I think they were down 7 points at the end of the third quarter. If you watched the first 3 quarters of that game, you'd think the Dolphins were going to win that. It took a 95-yard punt return to get the Bills back into the game. With the Steelers, I know TJ Watt is out, but I do think their defense is talented enough that they can hold the Bills' offense in check for a while. So it is going to come down to the Steelers' offense to make some big plays and step up big time if they are going to beat the Bills. That being said, I'm not entirely sure that happens. I do think overall the defense of the Steelers can contain James Cook, and they're going to have to force Josh Allen to be Josh Allen, but if Josh Allen is the good Josh Allen, that's all going to wind up being moot. I do think the Steelers' big key to victory is on the offensive side, where they're going to need to ball control and win the time of possession battle to give the Steelers any type of chance in this thing. But ultimately, I'm going to guess the Bills probably put up enough points to win this thing. The Bills are going to hold out the Steelers. I'm picking Buffalo to win.
Some things come along only once in a lifetime, like the Halley's Comet Spectacular at your Mitsubishi Motors dealer, starring the car that's light years ahead of the competition, the Mitsubishi Mirage, loaded with out-of-this-world features. And right now, with so many Mirages to choose from, the deals have never been more down to earth. Plus, great savings on the hot Mirage Turbo. See your Mitsubishi Motors dealer today and catch a great deal. But hurry, the Halley's Comet Spectacular ends soon. It may be your last chance till 2061.
Campbell's has a selection of soups so exceptional, they're attired in a gold label. Campbell's creamy, natural soups, inundated with perhaps the finest vegetables in the civilized world, in a delicately seasoned blend of cream and butter, creamy asparagus, broccoli, potato, cauliflower, spinach. Campbell's creamy, natural soups. Sophisticated soups for sophisticated tastes.
Campbell soup is good.
Banana trees don't make NutraSweet. Neither do cows, but they might as well. If you've had bananas and milk, you've eaten what's in NutraSweet. Everything in it you find naturally and good things to eat, like 2 building blocks of protein. Nature doesn't make NutraSweet, but NutraSweet couldn't be made without it. NutraSweet brand sweetener. Just look for the swirl.
Okay, so again, to recap things, I like the Texans to beat the Browns, I like the Chiefs to beat the Dolphins, and I like the Bills over the Steelers. So, yeah, mostly chalk. I mean, I guess a lot of people are picking the Browns to beat the Texans, so maybe that's not as chalk as you think, but still, yeah, it is 3 division winners going there, so. But that's only on the AFC side. Maybe there's some more upsets on the NFC side if that plays out. We'll have to see in that video when it comes out next. Then, of course, we'll be covering the divisional rounds, again, AFC and NFC in separate videos. And then it's the conference championships and the Super Bowl. And maybe I'll get around to doing the Royal Rumble. I haven't been as hyped for it this year, but I'll have to save that for a different video if I do another vlog in between. So, yeah, we'll see when that gets out. See you all next time. Hey guys, remember that you can support my work at patreon.com/sleepytimeforcat productions. Also, remember to like, comment, share, subscribe to my channel, and ring that notification bell so that way you can be alerted to further videos.